Hello everybody, I'm in the car today and I thought I'd do a slightly more candid video. This is exactly what my morning, I wouldn't like it to look like, and it certainly is no Instagrammer's dream morning either. But I thought I would share with you how I was feeling this morning and what I did, if not to counter it, at least to deal with it. So I woke up feeling really low. It was one of those days when you just feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. That's a fallacy, but sometimes we do feel it. And things didn't get much better shortly after, because I got into an argument with my husband. I was also just feeling really ill. So here's what I did. I stopped for a minute, which is what I'm always recommending as well, and just said, you know what? There are a lot of things that are not in my control right now, but let me start by seeing what I can do. I realized that I had a bit of a cold, and that was why I was feeling sort of all achy and sniffly. That would explain some of my feelings. Besides that, there was some things which weren't going so well, but also other things which were very uncertain. Now, for the things that aren't going well, we need to examine whether, one, that we had a role to play with it or not, and two, how much of it we can control, and three, what we could do about it to make better, and four, the rest we just have to accept that what must follow will follow. But I was in no mood to deal with that now, so I could afford to put it on hold for a few minutes, and I did. What I did do instead was to drag myself to the gym. Now, I didn't feel one bit like a goddess or strong, but I said if I just walk or use the elliptical, if I do a little bit of weights, I know for a fact that my muscles are going to get pumped up, endorphins are going to flood my body, and also some of the anxiety hormones, the sadness hormones would necessarily get dissipated. Now, you might think that I felt like $1,000,000 after a workout, but I didn't. The mind is a very powerful beast and can control the body very strongly as well. But I told myself that, you know what, I'm not feeling as bad as I was earlier in the morning. And that for me was already improvement. In the course of my workout, I saw a friend, a real life friend in the gym. And I just said in one sentence that, I wasn't feeling that great this morning and that I was a little anxious. And just sharing it with a kind soul actually lessened my burden. Now, this is quite different from sharing your pain on social media, where you'll get a lot of responses, but they are responses from the people who happen to be online at the moment, and not necessarily the ones that are going to help you see this through in any real way. And all you're getting really is a dopamine hit without any kind of introspection or solution to the problem. So my preference is always to tell a real friend, and just one, if I need to lighten a burden. I also took a short steam. I cut short my workout. It was, like I said, less than ideal. I barely worked out for 15 or 20 minutes, but I thought a steam would help clear my nose, clear my thoughts, and it was 5 minutes that I could get to sit in solitude and in silence, in the absence of a longer meditation that I would have liked to have done, because I also had work and a client coming up. In those 5 minutes, I just stopped all thought. I sat consciously, in the steam room, and I did a quick body scan, just checking in with myself, checking in with my feelings, checking in with my mind, and then just centering myself. Essentially, what I did was I told myself that, you know what, there is a storm around me right now, but I am okay. The essence of me is just fine. As I left the gym, I took another minute precious minute or two to look for a song that I really loved. For me today, it was Florence and the Machine's The Dog Days Are Over. Prophetic, and for me it was wishful as well. But just listening to it and singing out loud to it while I cycled home actually started to lift my mood. And that was the first time I realized that, one, that I was no longer down, but I was more on an even keel, but also that I was actually starting to feel good. And I didn't realize I was smiling by then until I saw two truckers pass by and they smiled back at me. And guess what? They also stopped, let my cycle cut in front of them, and I got the green light and they got stuck in the red. And I turned around to thank them and they just waved me on. And by then I was feeling positively happy. So what happened there? One, there was human connection. Two, you gave them something. I think I inadvertently gave them something. They gave me something back. So I was not thinking about myself, and in that, it's already a mood lift, right? Once I reached my building and I showered and I was ready for my client. Again, when I'm with the client, I'm 100% with the other person. So that takes thought away from yourself. There are 100 different ways that you can do that. You can immerse yourself in work. You can do something for that where you're other regarding. It could just be picking up the phone and calling your mom if you haven't spoken to her in a while. It could be something as simple as, going down to the local orphanage or old age home and spending an hour there or a half hour there. These things don't take time. I sometimes actually donate blood if I'm feeling like a little low, and just that entire atmosphere and how sweet the nurses are and just the luxury of lying down for 15 minutes is so thrilling. I always come out in a good mood. Plus they give you nice snacks. So, bottom line, other regarding. Strangely now, I feel so much more centered. I still have more work to do before I can take a longer break, but I know that the one thing that will keep me centered is a regular practice. So at the very unorthodox time of possibly 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon, I will actually sit down or even lie down to a brief meditation. But this is what my morning looked like, and I just thought that you should know that even YouTubers and Instagrammers don't have it hunky-dory and happy every day, and even a life coach doesn't wake up every morning in a beatific and euphoric state. I hope this video helped you, and I also just wanted to say that one other thing that's really helped me, I think Jiddu Krishnamurti said this, which is that when you put yourself out there and when you make yourself a role model, that's the best way to hold yourself accountable to an action. So while I won't put any kind of insane pressure on myself to be happy, the fact that this is what I keep saying to all of you that we should be doing made me possibly take these actions on and do them for myself a lot faster than I would have otherwise done. So in your own way, you can think about how you'd like to be a role model as well. You don't have to be perfect in the thing that you want to be a role model for, but just putting yourself out there is the best kind of accountability you can create for yourself. So have a fabulous day, and thank you for listening.